Oops, I screwed the pooch. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I am here in Vermont. I am way, way north. I am so far north that I'm close to the Great White North. In fact, I think I'm only about 35 minutes away from the Canadian border. Had it not been cloudy Monday night, I would have seen the northern lights like crazy. And I literally got a history of how they make real maple syrup. And I got $100 worth of maple syrup. And it is totally different it's literally been game changing. And I'm hoping and praying that my live stream is working better down here in the lobby than it was when I tried Monday upstairs. East Side, hi Pops, I'm back in action. Joanne Gonzalez, one of the lovely ladies in the place with the style and the grace. Chris May in the house. It's Mailman, y'all. Well, the Mailman, I hope he joins because he was fired up tonight. He was truly fired up. Dak, delusional fan, has actually really and truly got up underneath his skin today. Lady Libra in the house. James Snyder, how are you doing? Is the stream coming through clear? Can you hear me? Brother, can you see me? Brother, can you see me? James Snyder, how are you doing? I can see you guys. At least I can see the chat. Stephen Brown, what's up? Yazin Cowboy, how are you doing? April Barnes, what's up? What's up? It looks like we actually have the stream going good. And if you are a channel member, I think I posted it in the community tab, the link to get on. I know you're worried about your son-in-law at Mark Holmes. I don't have a son-in-law. I don't have one. Alana in the house. What's up, Alana? JJ, how are you doing? Okay, so I was watching Game Time stream, and he was going off on Dak delusional fan, okay? And he's like, and I was kind of like, for a while, I don't know if it's like this when you guys are watching me and I get going kind of crazy on one of the trolls, if that's, if it's the same thing. But it was like the whole time it was defending Dak against Dak delusional fan. Ghostface Gaming, how are you doing? Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra? Here's the thing that's crazy, okay? Here's the thing that's crazy. I'm sitting here watching a lot of the talking heads, and, of course, they've said the Cowboys are going to be terrible, that Mike McCarthy's going to be fired by Thanksgiving, and, all of the, all the negativity that's out there, okay, that everything's going to be bad, that the first part of the season for the Cowboys is going to destroy them, that nothing is going to work out for them, and that they're going to suck. And then I start watching some of the other ones. Jones Drew, his prediction was the Cowboys would be 10-7. Well, that's not exactly awful. I think the Giants and the Commanders would have loved to have been 10-7. Would be, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot. Wasn't that what the Eagles were? Weren't the Eagles 10-7 this past year? If you get to be 10-7, you'll probably be a playoff team again. So if the Cowboys are a playoff team 4 years in a row, I don't know how far they'll go. Are they really that bad? How many other teams have been a playoff team? Linda, what's up, Linda? How are you doing? Let me make sure I've got my link in here because people might think that I'm not actually doing it. Okay, let's see. Did I post it? Because usually you guys are here. Yeah, the link is in there. I know Troy Daniels is usually the first one that's here. Unfortunately, Troy Daniels is back in the hospital with cellulitis, and we need to keep our thoughts and prayers with him where am I at? Okay. Keep our thoughts and prayers with him that he gets better and gets back out of the hospital soon. But I woke up this morning thinking about, because everybody keeps saying, Walker Wade, man, Dak Prescott, we had a great team against San Francisco in 22, and Dak just stunk the place up. And I was sitting here remembering that game and remembering Zeke Elliott, 26 yards on 10 carries. I was remembering, y'all remember the catch by Kittle? That catch where it was overthrown. It's on the tips of his fingers, and he's just kind of bobbling it. And Diggs had a chance to knock the ball away or get an interception, and he just kind of dipped his shoulder and went right through and missed him. What if he had made that play? What if Randy Gregory hadn't tackled the offensive lineman? These are things that make a difference on whether you win a game or lose a game. I'm being serious. And we sit here and we just look and we just say, it's that Dak Prescott. Here's the problem that I have. Glad to hear you're good, Lady Libra, Alana Walker, 11-6. You don't think the Cowboys will be 11-6? Okay, well, here's why they play the game, Alana. I bet last year, going into the season, nobody predicted the Cowboys to be 12-5. They didn't. If Dak could just step up the final, beat Frisco, that would be huge. Need 400-yard game, 4 or 5 TVs from Dak and would win. That's one way to look at it, but you could also look at it and say, how about if the whole team steps up? How about if the defense holds them to 20 points or less? How about we say that the running back gets more than, 30 yards? How about we say everybody kind of gets in there and does something? That's more of what I look at and say we need. I look at the schedule and it's an easy schedule. Yeah, let me pull up the schedule. I don't know where everybody is today. Because I was trying to live stream on Monday night here, and it would not work in my room at all. It just would not work. And then we ended up running through so late on the build on Wednesday. By the time I got done, it was too late for me to try and get downstairs to set up and do the live stream. So I actually haven't really gone through the schedule with you guys on here. No link. Okay, hold on, Derek. I swear I posted it. Hold on. Let me do it again. Let me try it again there. All right, I just redid it. Oh, you know what? This is weird, Derek. It's been sitting here. It just said 1 second ago. All right, it should be there. Let's see if that works this time. The internet is crazy here at the hotel. Let's see if that works for you. Okay. Walker Wade. Okay. Walker, shout out to Walker Wade, because it's not a party till it's a Walker Wade party. Okay. Walker, we'll have a chance at the end of the season, okay? Gina Dallas Diva, what's up? We're going to be a 5-win team. And all of these teams that they're right now that they're talking about are going to be really great. Remember last year when they were talking about how great the Jets were going to be, or how great the Giants were going to be, right? Or how about the Chargers? Oh, man, they got Kellen Moore now. They're going to be great. All these teams that they turned around and said were going to be great, how many of them were? Did anybody expect the Texans to be any good last year? Shout out to Eastside Herald, because their team turned that thing around. But they didn't get any further than we did. What's up, David? How are you doing? For whatever reason, it said it was posted in there. The link was, but it wasn't. How are you doing today, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark, what is up, bro?
Just catching my breath. It's been kind of crazy up here in Vermont.
Believe
Working
it.
on, oh my goodness,
Believe it.
working
Well,
on
I'm
some
looking
projects and
forward to
stuff.
this season big time. And in all sincerity, our schedule this year is actually very favorable. The tough teams, we got them early.
Yeah.
I think we might actually have a better shot than what people are giving us credit for.
Well, that they never. Okay, when have they given us credit? Is the first thing. The last 3 years they've always said that we're going to be terrible, and Mike McCarthy's going to get fired, and Dak Prescott's going to be gone. Shout out to Roland's Review. What's up, Roland? How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, we often forget about what's happened for the team since Mike McCarthy's been here. I mean,
Every
he takes
year.
over a Jason Garrett team in 6-10 the first year, and then he's
Right.
been 12-5 the last 3 years, and the 4 years he's been our coach. So, I mean, tell me how he's a bad coach.
Well, again, it's the playoff. It's the lack of playoff success, and I understand
Right.
everybody's frustration. What kills me is how, first of all, everybody always just says. I was listening to Game Time Brian's broadcast. Brian, I just reloaded it in there. Try it again. I was just listening to him, and you got the trolls out there that claim to be Cowboy fans, but I'm beginning to wonder if they are or not because, as one of my favorite clips are, those who can do, those who can't talk about those who can, and I
Exactly.
think some of them just live just to get the attention of being that guy that's just there hating. Dak delusional fan. That's all. I mean, how can you be a Dallas Cowboy fan and all you talk about is just hating Dak Prescott? I just don't think that.
Exactly. I mean, he's our quarterback. We have to accept it. And Dak Prescott is not exactly as bad as people think he is. I mean, think about this. He's actually passed for more yards and more touchdown passes than what Peyton Manning did in his first 8 years. And get this, Peyton Manning didn't even hit a Super Bowl until his 9th year. And this
Exactly.
is Dak's, what, 9th year now?
It is the 9th year, but sometimes
Yeah,
you just
I
don't have the
mean-
team to do it. And there, Brian, your ears must have been on fire because I was watching a show as I was trying to set up and make sure I could do the stream here, and it works down in the lobby, but it's a pain in the rear end to bring all the stuff down in the lobby and to set up to do it. But I was listening, and in my mind, when you guys were talking about the San Francisco game, there are plays that happen in every game that can be a game changer. Brian, do you remember with George Kittle caught that pass in the third quarter when it was 9-9? It wasn't like Brock Purdy had an incredible game because Brock Purdy only had 214 yards. And
Right.
no TDs, no
Nobody
interceptions.
want, yeah, oh yeah.
But what
I
if,
do.
Okay, what if Diggs had actually sold out and tipped the ball away right there?
Right.
Then it's 2nd and 10 from their 21-yard line. They've got, haven't done jack all day in offense any more than the Cowboys did. The game has changed completely. There's plays, and I'm not saying that Dak Prescott has played incredible, but that same game, Zeke was our leading rusher with 10 rushes for 26 yards.
Well, here's the problem. When I start, I started the stream at 3:30. We were going. We were touching on everything. We were over the cap. We were pulling up schedules. We were looking at, Eagles schedule, Niners schedule. We were looking at. I was really taking care of the people that were in the chat. We were, okay, you're a Niner fan, let's look. Okay, you got some tough stretches. And then we get to Dak, and we're like, I actually had your video at the top of my, in my opening, I used your video while you were on the bridge. So I'm like, I haven't seen Mark in a week. Let's watch some of his videos. So we were all watching your video, and, it was cool. But, once you start, digging into the, stats, we were digging into Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, okay, he had 15. He had 15 INTs last year. Remember the year before when Dak had 15 and they said get rid of him?
Yeah.
The difference is Dak had way more touchdown passes and way more yardage. So it was kind of like.
And a broken thumb. Nobody remembers that he broke
Again,
his
I don't
thumb.
care if we move on from him, everybody. I don't care. If we want to move on, good, because then I want to see what we're going to do. But don't tell me Trey Lance and then we got to find somebody, Dak Delusional, because that just pisses me off. I just had his NFC East record, 32-8. What do Eagle fans care about Dak's playoff record? You don't want us to win in the playoffs, correct?
Right. So
So what do you care about?
That's the thing that doesn't make any sense. Think about it. If you're rational,
I just want to know where we're going. What are we doing?
If you're honestly irrational as the enemy fan and say that Dak Prescott,
I would want him gone too. If I was an Eagle fan,
right? You would want him to stay. You would want him to stay there. Now I have to.
No, they want us gone because they have a tough time beating them.
Now I need y'all to take it easy on me today because I see I've got the trolls in here and stuff, but I am in a hotel lobby surrounded
Light him
by
up.
people, so I can't lose my mind. Okay, because this is not why I'm actually here. Walker Wade is trying to get in. Walker Wade sometimes goes from one end to the other. And
Oh God, I'm out.
Walker Wade, but sometimes, man, it's always he's just hammering and hammering and hammering.
Again,
and hammering.
I don't care what we do. I just want to have. You need to tell me the plan. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I can tell you right now. I didn't put you guys up on the screen, did I?
Well,
I told you that. That's what I said.
Let's see how the season unfolds. I mean,
there we go.
The thing about every NFL season is we just never know. We just never know how it's going to be.
Well, yeah, you never know, and that's where it's so funny to me that everybody's going through the schedule and saying, "Oh, well, this is a loss. That's a loss. That's a loss." And it's like, really? I remember they were saying last year they were going to lose to the Jets too, didn't they? Said we're going to lose to the Eagles twice, didn't they? Right? I think they even said we were going to lose to the Giants once. So the reality is, people thought the Giants were going to be a good team last year coming off the playoffs, right? People thought that Justin Herbert and the Chargers were going to be a good team coming off of, the playoff year, right? They certainly didn't, So first of all, we don't know who's going to be a tough team on there. For all we know, San Francisco could have the Super Bowl loser hangover.
Well, that's what normally happens, but again, that's what normally happens. Mark, you lose in the Super Bowl. You take a step back emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
physically.
San Fran didn't do that after they lost their Super Bowl. They went to the conference title 4 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but they didn't make it back to the Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is, I'm looking at this season. If we can't get over San Fran in the regular season, I'm telling you, we're not going anywhere in the playoffs. That we have to get over that team.
Yes, we do.
With us having a bye week before that San Francisco game,
that'll help.
That'll probably help.
Look at the schedule.
Psychologically, if the Cowboys do not beat the 49ers, I'm telling you, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs this year again.
And they might go in the tank.
To get test against a good roster.
I agree with you, Wade, on that one. I do. But we got to do
because,
something.
Look, when San Fran beat us in the 90s, they were having a hard time getting over us. We kept beating them. They finally got over the hump and won a Super Bowl and had to go through us. Same thing with the Colts. They had a hard time with the Patriots in the early 2000s, and Peyton Manning finally beat Tom Brady in the playoffs and got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We have to get over San Francisco.
I'll give you that one. Now, the question will be will we have the players to do it? Here's my biggest concern right now is the fact that we're talking about Lavelle Joseph, bringing him in.
Linval Joseph.
We're talking he only played in 7 games last year, 12 tackles.
He's
sack. If you're going to do that, you might as well have kept Hankins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might as well have kept Hankins.
The only thing I could think of there was that Zimmer didn't want him. The only thing I could think of.
Well, Joseph, of course, does have ties, of course, with Zimmer. But,
right.
I'm just wondering how much
Pro
does
Football
he have
Focus did not have a grade for Hankins last year. So, again, I know I don't like bringing stats up, but
what was Lavelle Joseph's?
Huh?
What was Lavelle Joseph's then?
Oh, I don't know. But
okay.
I don't know what Hankins is getting either. He's going to get multiple more million than what Linval Joseph would play for the veteran minimum, I'm sure.
But here's the problem for the Cowboys. It's always bottom basement shopping,
Well,
right now.
Again, at this point, what are you going to get?
It's like they're always find a diamond in a bunch of dirt.
Here's your experienced defensive lineman right now. Osa and Digazua.
What's up, James
and
Snyder?
Mozzie
How are you,
Smith.
brother?
That's the only experienced guys you have on the defensive front right now.
Calais Campbell's talking to the Eagles, so he'll get ready for that.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, heaven.
I mean, he's what?
Leo
How old is he?
talking about that. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
He's
He didn't
37,
sign
but here's the
with
thing.
them.
Calais Campbell
Well,
had 6.5
Linda
sacks and
Joseph
52
last year.
tackles.
He had 12 combined tackles, 5 assists, and 1 sack.
Yeah. As
So,
opposed to
He didn't play much though. I think he was a mid-season addition, like the year before. You know.
I mean, pretty close from when he was with the Eagles too. His best season after that was in 2021. But I don't know, if you want to bring him in, you can. But
Right.
like what Wade was talking about, we need to get over the Niners, and that
Maybe they're gonna
starts
bring him in.
the trenches.
Well,
that
here's the
starts in
deal.
the trenches. We got to run the ball, and we got to stop the run. Period.
I would rather bring him in
Got to
now.
control the narrative.
Oh, there's your buddy, Mark. There's your buddy.
We're always one lost in the trenches and how everything is up front.
Yeah,
will
Jimmy
determine outcomes
referenced
of the
that talking to Colin Coward. He was talking about that. The Cowboys mentally. I mean, it's all up top. We got to get over the hump. We got to get over some of these teams we're having issues with.
Mm-hmm. I
Thanks,
agree
Brian
with that.
Harding.
I would
Thank
agree
you.
with that too. I think here's part of the
I appreciate that.
part of the problem with the Cowboys is because they're always on TV, because you know the pivot's happening right now. Because now you're beginning to get some of the guys that are saying, "Oh, the Cowboys will be 10-7 or 11-6 and so on." We always go through the Cowboys don't do any free agency; they're a bad team, and then they start building us up between now and the beginning of the season, where all of a sudden we're going to be, a Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl contender, and Super Bowl or bust. And it's like, wait a minute, how can we be a Super Bowl contender if you just said we are an awful team, we're poorly built, we got a bad coach, we got a loser for a quarterback?
Right.
How does that all of a sudden turn between now and August into it's Super Bowl or bust?
Exactly.
Why Marcel's called them fiction writers for.
So the pivot is beginning to happen now, where they're going to say, oh well, the draft class that they have, and of course Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, blah, blah, and they will have us hyped up to think that we're going to be a Super Bowl winner. But I think the mentality of the players, when you hear, I honestly believe that because we had that home winning streak, that they just felt invincible at home. And when you feel invincible, we got this, man. We got this.
Yeah.
They weren't
Let your
hungry.
guard down.
Hey, we don't have to worry about Green Bay. Let's start thinking about next week. We start selling tickets to parties, victory parties after the game, before the game's even played. And they showed up and they got punked. That's what happened in that game, I'm telling you. And maybe I'm hoping that Mike Zimmer, being on the sidelines, being the fiery person that he is, that maybe he'll start having some accountability for these guys. When you screw up, it's not going to be, we'll get them next time. It's going to be, sit your ass down. Because that's what they need is, Walker Wade is 100% right. It's mental right now at this point that they can't get over the hump.
See, even when Green Bay drove down the field and scored, we have veterans on our offense. We have veterans on our team. It's like, dang, you can't. They looked shook after Green Bay scored. It was like everyone just threw up their hands. It just didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. Go down the field, score a touchdown, and answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like the whole team is just rookies. I mean, we got veterans on the team that have been in playoff games and high pressure situations before. It's like, okay, Green Bay scores and then we just laid down. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, the problem is they call themselves the Hot Boys, and that's that's a problem. We need some, that. I saw one of the younger guys wearing the Hot Boys. I'm like, really? We're still doing this again? We're giving out necklaces that say Hot Boys on it. That's a failed experiment.
You need to be a grown ass man, not no damn
D-Law.
Yeah, that hot boy shit was over 10 years ago.
Geez, how far have we dropped Doomsday Defense to the Hot Boys?
I don't want us to be called the Hot Boys. I want us to be called the Fat Boys because we need big dudes up
Fat
front.
Boys are back.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now you're actually getting on board where I am, because right now, here's the thing: we got Mozzie and we got Osin Digazua as basically our two defensive tackles right now. That's all the experience that you have.
You got Carl Davis. He's going to do better in this type situation. You have
not the experience.
Well, Carl Davis is a veteran. He's played for many teams. He just didn't get a lot of run last year.
Okay.
But again, Mark, in Zimmer's type system, all right, it's more of a you know just collapsing the pocket, stopping the run. They're not worried about getting rush on the quarterback. Osa will give you some rush.
Oh, he definitely is. He's better at rushing, but you want to throw him loose.
His D tackles just need to take double teams and just clog the middle. That's all you're expected to do. Carl Davis could do that. So again, we'll see. We have a lot of bodies there. Osa's good most of the year until the playoffs. He starts to wear down because he's not that big a boy. We'll see what Mozzie does. I love a new rookie out of Auburn. They love him. Don't be surprised if he's not the day one starter on the defensive line. There's going to be a rotation, people, but he's a true one technique. That's what he does. When the main thing they were working with, and they're working with Mozzie as we speak on the side, is hand placement, just your stance. We're going back to, and that's what they need to do. Going back to the beginning with how to put your hand down. Marshawn Nealon, they are so shocked how strong this guy is. Marshawn Nealon's going to be a player in this league. The pass rush, maybe not right away. But as a rotational guy, he may be starting, in certain defensive looks because he can stop the run. So it'll be interesting. We got a lot of question marks, but we got some upside in all of those. So we'll see, we'll see. I'd rather do this and go with some young players and maybe hit it than bring back the same old. And you saw what happened in the playoff game. Obviously, that was not good enough. So let's go young, man. Let's come on. I just don't want to hear Hot Boys because that's a little suspect to me. Hot Boys reminds me of the Village People or something. Come on, man.
Yeah,
weird.
It's amazing.
Where's Walker Wade at? Is he there? Come on.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Man, we got a full house. Y'all must be missing me or something this week or something. We got a lot of people in here talking this week. There's Derek J.
Well,
what's up, Derek?
It got out of control over there. I spent most of the show being nice to everybody. And then it's just after a while, it's like, if you're a Dallas fan, can you not be positive at all?
That's
Is
right.
Positive
Listen,
at all?
Any positivity or optimism about this?
Even
season?
Ultra Cowboy says, he told me and Mark, he said, listen, if Dak wins, I'll be happy. He just doesn't believe it's going to happen. And I could at least respect that. He doesn't have any faith in Dak. But if he wins, he's not going to be mad because of it. He's going to be ecstatic that the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. And then he'll deal with the Dak love at that point. But
I don't want those people.
This upcoming year, everybody will be over elated, I think. Especially those of us that have been waiting for 20
okay,
years.
all right. Let me ask you a question here. Okay,
I hear you, man.
Real question here, okay? Let's just kind of list down the quarterbacks that you would rather have instead of Dak Prescott. Now, we can eliminate Pat Mahomes, okay? Forget that. We know everybody will take Pat Mahomes over Dak Prescott.
Right.
What other quarterback would you say that we'd win a Super Bowl with that's playing right now?
None.
I'm asking. No, seriously. I mean, you could say Josh Allen, but Josh Allen's a turnover machine. I know everybody, because this is what pissed me off when I was watching your show.
Go Joe Burrow, honestly.
Yeah,
If Joe Burrow can stay healthy.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
I mean, and that's not. Listen, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not. Any answer we give is going to seem like a slight to Dak, right?
No, it's not. No, because nobody.
But I would say Joe Burrow. His problem
nobody
is
has
he
said
can't
that
stay
Dak
healthy.
Prescott is the best quarterback in football. But I'm just pointing out and just saying.
Well, Dan Saleo says he's top 5
or top 6 or what? Yeah.
I mean, people can say what they want to about Jared Goff, but
C.J. Stroud, I like that one.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. See, we're already getting better here.
For sure.
CJ, after 1 year.
Wait, so you're saying you would take today? You would take Jared Goff over Dak Prescott?
People could say what they want to. Jared Goff played pretty good in the playoffs, and if his coach wasn't an idiot, he would have been in the Super Bowl.
Well, he was in a Super Bowl, wasn't he?
He was with the Rams.
What I mean, he would have went to the Super Bowl this year. Like if his coach wasn't an idiot.
Yeah, I agree with Walker there. That coach is going to hold back Detroit. He's great in one aspect.
Well, okay. Let's back up here for a second, though. The Lions, that's the furthest they have been in forever, okay? The Lions have been abysmal.
Yeah, but Mark, it's impressive. It's impressive to go to, to a whole other team and almost be on the borderline of a Super Bowl. Like you went to the Super Bowl one team, and then you go to another team and pretty much almost take them to the Super Bowl.
Well, so are you saying he's Peyton Manning? Tom Brady?
No, I'm telling you that Jared Goff in the playoffs is better than Dak. That's what I'm telling you. He's a more clutch quarterback in the playoffs, Mark, than Dak Prescott.
I might argue
I mean, hell, people call Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's numbers are garbage. Oh, he's got trash numbers. Look at him in the playoffs. He still won 3 Super Bowls and 4 conference titles.
Yeah, Kyle Pizzle tried to go there, and I'm like, no.
Very
Troy
pedestrian.
Aikman
was pedestrian. Oh, really? How Troy do in the playoffs? His numbers are pedestrian. How do you do in the playoffs?
Okay, I hear you. Hold on, but then would you say that Jimmy G was a great quarterback?
Jimmy G has been. He's been a solid playoff quarterback. He won a Super Bowl. He's been a solid playoff quarterback.
Mark Sanchez has a great playoff record too, though.
He's done more than a lot of quarterbacks that have come through the NFL. Hell, he played in the Super Bowl. A lot of quarterbacks can't even get to the Super Bowl.
But were they in the Super Bowl because of Jimmy G or because the team? That's kind of what you have to look at too.
So I got a question.
Because,
let's
did the Cowboys in the '90s win the Super Bowl because of Troy Aikman or the team?
Can y'all hear me?
It's the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so but was Troy Aikman a good quarterback?
Troy Aikman was an incredible quarterback.
Yes, he is.
But having an incredible quarterback isn't enough.
I think it's this: if the Dallas Cowboys make it to an NFC championship or to a Super Bowl or something, and then lose, then what? I bet it's going to be the same thing. Dak can't get over the hump. Dak can't do it for us. I mean, I'm getting
hold on. Here's the
NFC and AFC championships.
Dak's going on year 9. Dak's going on year 9. He's going on year 9.
It's like Nate. What I'm saying is the fact that people.
It's like Nate Newton said. You're in year 9. He's in year 9. Nate Newton said this the other day. He's in year 9.
How long did Matthew Stafford stay with the Lions until he went to the Los Angeles Rams and got a Super Bowl? He was there for what, 12 seasons?
Yeah,
12 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
and all I'm saying is I take Jared Goff over Dak. That's all I'm
with
saying.
Game Time, Brian.
Okay.
I mean,
I hear you. All right.
If you want to get rid of them, get rid of them.
I would say they're about on the same level. But
that's where I'm at, angry Cowboys fan. I just don't know the answer, man.
I think you could bring anybody in if you wanted to. It's still not going to change.
I know Cowboys fans don't want to hear this, but we have to go.
Okay.
Have to go what?
You muted yourself there. Okay, but here's the thing: Jared Goff has played in 8 playoff games and has 8 touchdown passes.
The Cowboys got to go back in the quarterback purgatory to find a quarterback. I know y'all don't want to hear that. We got to go back and look for a quarterback.
Okay. And how many of those did we find in the last 64 years?
Like every franchise has done the last 50 years. Look for quarterbacks.
And how many did we find that were Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in 65 years?
2. Yeah.
Just saying. And so right now the best that we
Don Meredith wasn't chopped liver.
I feel you, Derek.
I hear what I hear your frustration.
I mean, like 3 quarterbacks have been really 3-4 quarterbacks have been dominating the NFL for the last 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. That as much as Jared Goff in his 8 playoff games has only 2 interceptions, which is great, but he only has 8 TD passes. It's not that they're winning the games because of him. Now maybe they're not losing them because of him.
He's not making bad decisions. That's what you need your quarterback to do. Make right decisions. Don't make boneheaded plays when you don't need them.
How many boneheaded plays? Okay, I agree with you. But we're not talking about every single play that the man has made has been boneheaded. When you look at it,
I'm not even saying Dak's a bad quarterback. The issue is situation.
Here's the difference. Pat Mahomes made a boneheaded play in the play in the Super Bowl there, and they were down 10-0. That could have been 17-0 and would have lost the game. But guess what? His defense made a play to stop them from scoring to get the ball back to the quarterback. It's not. I get it. The quarterback has to elevate the team, but the team has got to be there too. When you go back to that San Francisco game, think about that catch that George Kittle got, where you had Diggs who could have picked that thing off and went and did a pick six, or at least knocked it down and made it so it was 2nd and 10 from their 21-yard line when it was 9-9.
Look, I'm not gonna put all this on Dak. Dak's a solid quarterback. I'm not gonna put all this on Dak. What I will put on Dak is that last 49ers playoff game. I'm sorry, he doesn't throw those 2 picks. We're winning that game. We are winning that game.
You're probably right.
But you had to throw the ball anyway because you're down so much anyway.
Right.
No, those games were tight. No. That last 49ers game in the playoffs, those games were tight.
They were tight. That one. Okay, I got it.
No, did it?
That game came down to the wire.
Never mind.
Well, I tell you what.
I'm thinking of the.
We'll go through who knows how many years until we find the guy where we won't even make the playoffs, and you'll be happy. That'll make you happy.
See, my thing is this: if we don't have Dak Prescott, I don't want to go with the thought pattern of, well, we ain't gonna make the playoffs. I still want to remain that optimistic Cowboys fan, no matter who's under center. You know.
I mean, Willie Dak
Okay.
Prescott, like, who else are we gonna look for? Who are we gonna get?
I mean, but you are correct. Like, as of right now, like, what other viable options? Like, you don't go quit your job and not have something lined up, something bigger and better.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. You know, when
So my take is like, why not just
Right.
give Dak the extension, and if you want to move on from him, move on the right way. In the 2nd year of his extension, draft the quarterback that's going to replace him.
You know what the saddest thing is to me right now? I'm going to say to you guys, I was going to say this to my fireside chat tonight. But the saddest thing is when I look at the team right now, okay? I look at this team right now. You got a young offensive line that's going to be, learning curves. There are going to be mistakes and stuff made out there. But you got youth, which means speed and health, which is a good thing. Some of the things that we haven't had. But when I look at this team and I look around the league and stuff, a few players could make this team incredible. You have a great back end if Diggs comes back healthy, and if you were to bring back Stephon Gilmore, but I think that Zimmer does not want him. But I get that. That's a different coach, different philosophy. But you got a great back end. Your linebacking core is better. You get a couple of defensive linemen right there. That defense is going to be really, really good. And what if you got just another game-breaking wide receiver and maybe another upgraded running back? Mm-hmm. How close? You can't tell me if you did those 3 or 4 moves that this team isn't as good as anybody else in the NFC. And the question is why won't we go that extra step? I don't. That just doesn't make any sense. I can understand if we were like the Commanders and we had so far to go, but at this point, you look at this and say you're pretty close. You've won 12 games 3 years in a row, something that does not happen very often. Why not say push those chips in?
Why
Let's
not
go
get
ahead and make a
broke
couple
and
moves.
see what we can get?
We've got extra draft picks, so why not make a few trades? You're getting, another week and a half, $9.5 million more. Make some moves to really top this thing off. But we keep doing this whole mentality, we're going to do more with less. That doesn't work in the NFL.
It never does work.
And then we're sitting here, everybody's getting crazy and saying, well, just get rid of Dak, because, then we'll win. You're not going to – the best thing you got going consistently is Dak Prescott. He's 32-8 in his division. He owns that. He gets you to the playoffs, right? And you say, get rid of that, and then we'll just start all over. Well, now you still had all those other pieces that you needed to fill in and finding a quarterback. It's almost like everybody looks like Dak is the handicapped child, and we're just giving him a charity event and having him, Make-A-Wish Foundation quarterback, that he is just that awful. Dude is...
If I'm looking at and I'll briefly go by it. I know I'm going to get shit for this one, but where we're at, if I'm looking at it, all right, probably Josh Allen. I know Mark's going to hate this one, but Aaron Rodgers, I think he's got something left to get a team over the top. He's very clutch. We've seen that in the playoffs against us. Hold on.
Aaron Rodgers. The last half of his career has been
I'm
awful
talking about in the
playoffs.
playoffs against us. He single-handedly beat us twice with those incredible throws. That's all I'm saying. I get
Okay.
it. I'll take Dak for the season, but if you're giving me a playoff game on the road, you might want Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's
I
all
hear
I'm
you there.
saying. I'm not gonna say Aaron Rodgers is the best thing, but he's clutch. We can say whatever you want. He can go in a cave and smoke whatever he wants.
Guess what?
Yeah, I would have took Tom Brady 4 years ago over Dak when Tom Brady
Okay.
was free agent.
I'm just going down just real quick. I wouldn't take Lamar over, and this is funny. Lamar won the MVP. I would not take Lamar over Dak, but I would take Joe Burrow. I would take Joe Burrow.
I bet you this. Y'all can take anybody, Namath can come back. But until the Dallas Cowboys fix their internal problems, I don't care if Tom Brady comes here. Nothing.
Yes.
And maybe CJ Stroud. Those are the only 3 quarterbacks in the AFC I would take over Dak.
Okay.
The Jacksonville quarterback, he hasn't done nothing.
Hold on. If Tom Brady's on the 2022 Cowboys, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, he's retired now. I'm saying
2022,
active.
yeah.
I'm saying active.
No. Cowboys. If Tom Brady's on the 2022 Cowboys, we're going to the Super Bowl. Period.
Okay, well, we can't change that now, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
you probably would
nobody
rock
in the
unless you got a
NFC East,
time
I'm
machine,
sorry.
we can't change that.
I wouldn't take Jalen Hurts over Dak. I wouldn't. Even their own media is saying that Dak's a lot better quarterback. I'm just, I'm not. It is what it is.
Okay, let me say this much.
Detroit. Now Walker Wade brought an interesting point. I could see a path of Jared Goff just because, but I don't know. It's close. Jordan Love. You saw what Jordan Love did. He didn't see. He
had
that's
a
a
great running game
possibility.
against us too. That helps.
Okay, that's
down.
about it, people. Atlanta, no. I wouldn't take Kirk Cousins coming back from an Achilles. Brock Purdy, maybe Stafford, and Kyler Murray. That's up to you. But that's it. It's not like there's all these quarterbacks out there that are better than Dak Prescott. There's not many.
Okay, I want to revisit something real quick here because I want to remind you when everybody's killing us in 2021 that we lost to San Francisco. We ended up actually injuring Jimmy G. And the following week, San Francisco, which is a warm weather team, went to Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers, which was the number 1 seed. And Aaron Rodgers and that team only put up 11 points. No touchdown passes from Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers from 2019 on was 2-3 in the playoffs. And mind you, they were
He was in the conference title multiple years though.
Way back when, not in recent history.
I don't think he good against it.
The last time that was 2016.
Y'all can name
if I'm
all
not
these.
mistaken, he lost to Tom Brady. The Buccaneers went to Green Bay and beat him in the NFC Championship.
Derek, what was you saying?
They were in 2020. They were 1-1 in the playoffs. Unless they weren't, that could be true. They had 1 win and 1 loss in that year. And then the next year they were the number 1 seed, and they lost to San Francisco after we kind of softened them up a little bit.
Did we?
We did. Jimmy G was injured. Jimmy G, I will go back to that game because Jimmy G, I think, only had 107 yards passing in that game, and Green Bay lost to him.
You're right. I saw that. I remember.
Jimmy G came in and beat us, so.
Yeah, they did. We played them the week before. The next week,
Again, I'm not here to say I want Jimmy G.
But
I'm
here's
just
what's funny
keeping
is
it real.
some Cowboy fans are like, well, they were playing in the cold.
Leave it alone.
I was like, wait a minute. Green Bay always plays in the cold. What are you talking about? You're now literally going to give Aaron Rodgers the pass instead because he was playing in the cold in Green Bay against San Francisco? See, this is where it's not even anywhere fair. It's not even anywhere balanced at all. Come on, people. And
It's
listen,
not. We all know the toughest position in sports to play is the quarterback. And the toughest quarterback position to play is for the Dallas Cowboys. So y'all mentioned all these quarterbacks y'all would rather have over Dak Prescott. Who's to say they can handle playing for the Dallas Cowboys?
Thank you.
You can bring in Stafford, you can bring in Tom Brady. but they're not. Who says they can handle being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? I know Dak
Being Mr.
Prescott can
PC.
handle that. I don't know
Right.
about these other
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
that's special.
I don't.
Well, of
I like
course,
that.
a lot of them will say just draft a quarterback. Just draft a quarterback because it's just that easy. Now,
Wish it was that easy.
It was 6 quarterbacks that were drafted in the
It
first
can
round this
be
year.
if you look up.
How many of those guys do you think are going to be Super Bowl quarterbacks?
Not a lot.
Of those 6.
For the 6 drafted this year,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a couple of
How many are going to do what?
How many of the quarterbacks of the 6 first-round draft quarterbacks this year are we going to look
Probably
at and
none of
say
them.
are going to be because
And I would say that because of situation. It's all a win now. There's no developing. There's nothing. Jordan Love, he got to sit back a little bit. The good ones do. Very few can come in like a C.J. Stroud, and we're all excited about C.J. Stroud, but he did it for 1 year. We'll see what he does this year and year 2 when teams make adjustments.
I'm ready for their Texans game. Yeah.
I love C.J. Stroud too, but we'll see. He has to continue to grow.
shout out to Fred Train.
So we'll see.
So-
Again, I'm not ready to move on unless you. The only thing I am excited for, and to try and turn it maybe to a positive spin, is that we're going to have Dak for at least this year, right? And we're going to see a lot of Trey Lance. So Trey's had almost by the time the season starts, it'll be a nice amount of time in this system with Mike McCarthy. We're going to see him a lot in the preseason. So it'll be nice to see Trey Lance get a lot of work just to see what he looks like. Maybe we have a really good backup, going forward. So we're the starter. Who knows, man?
You know,
I tell you, Trey Lance is gonna come in there against the third string and light it up.
No, but he can't if he has a third string offensive line.
He gonna.
But he
Trey
else
Lance
comes
gonna
in
go
and lights
crazy
it up.
and because it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Nobody else comes
What else
in,
is gonna
though.
happen?
We never have a quarterback lights it up in the preseason. So if he comes out and lights it up they ain't gonna be playing Zach Martin. They ain't gonna be playing.
I honestly think that it's going to be one of those, what was it, the Will Greer resume builder.
Or even the Cooper Rush one a couple of years ago when I remember talking about using 12 personnel in one drive. But shout out, I forgot who it was. I'm sorry. But he was talking about John Elway. But here's what's kind of interesting. John Elway, until 1996, was 7-7 in the playoffs. And he ended up in his career 14-7. In those 2 years that they won those Super Bowls, they had Terrell Davis, which was an absolute positive beast. So are we saying that John Elway was a shitty quarterback, and if he had not won those Super Bowls with Terrell Davis, that he wouldn't have been great? Because clearly they were in the
Elway
playoffs.
went to 3 Super Bowls. He was great. Like, I don't look at a quarterback that goes to 3 Super Bowls like this guy sucks.
But he won 2
No,
of them.
I never went to 4 Super Bowls. He went to 4 Super Bowls, lost the first 2, and won his last 2.
He went to 5 Super Bowls.
Was it 5?
He went to 4.
4. I think it was 4.
He went to 5.
right,
He
how
went
about
to
this?
5 Super Bowls.
Hey, it's
Go on a bet. How much y'all want to bet he went to 5 Super Bowls?
He
But
went
some of
to
the teams that he
I think
faced,
he went
though,
to 5.
and them being San Francisco. San Francisco back then was
How many
No,
Super
he
Bowls
went
did
to
John
5.
Elway go to?
He went to 5. He lost to the
Like I said,
Giants.
he went to 5 Super
in
Bowls.
49.
He went to 5.
5 games.
Elway appeared in a
think
total of 5 Super Bowls.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, Walker wage right.
Okay. All right. So.
Oh, you want a lollipop?
Okay.
Damn right.
Okay. All right. So
Damn
let's
right.
back
Give me a
this-
cookie too.
You get a cookie then. You get a cookie. All right. So let's back it up then. So he had 3 losses until he got a running game. So had he not gotten
And
the
the
running
defense,
game,
too. They had defense.
will we look at him and say he was just a can't win the big one guy?
no, you had to have hope too.
He went to 3 without having a running game like he had the last 2. So did John Elway become a better quarterback those last 2 Super Bowls? Or was it the team got better then? I'm asking for a friend.
I think the team got better, but I also think the teams that he went up against were pretty good in the 80s, like the 49ers. Like the Redskins were no pushovers in the 80s.
Okay. Taz, I'm sorry, but you are just a freaking idiot. Dak is a bust too. 10 years and like one playoff win. First of all, get his playoff record straight. Second of all, to be a bust, you have to be drafted and thought that you were going to be something. So a Ryan Leaf who's drafted number 1 and then ends up being nothing, the expectations for him to be great. Nobody drafted a quarterback in the 4th round and think that they're going to be, a great quarterback. They're looking at that as a camp body. So at least don't be an idiot, okay? At least know what you're talking about when you're coming in here.
I kind of look at it like, Mark, the 80s, the 90s, the NFC was loaded in the 80s. Mark, only 2 AFC teams won in the 80s, and that was the Oakland Raiders. And the NFC dominated. The NFC dominated everything.
But if you're a great quarterback, aren't you supposed to elevate the team and overcome and win regardless?
No, you have to have it right on all sides.
Are we sitting here looking and when we have Noah Brown and Michael Gallup on one leg and saying, well, Dak's got to overcome? Nobody gives anybody a quarter there. When the defense gives up, play after play after play, we just say it's just the quarterback. We can't. I'm sorry. You can kill the team and Dak Prescott.
Hold on. I'm not blaming this all on Dak. I'm not going to blame it all on Dak. I like Dak. Sucks. He's a solid quarterback. He's good. But it's not Nate Newton said. I'm not saying, hey, look, this Green Bay game we got blown out. Everyone played shitty. Everyone played crappy. You're right, the entire team. But look, your quarterback on the sidelines looked like a deer in the headlights in year 8. You can't do that.
I think everybody looked like a deer in the headlights.
Have you ever tried to motivate a group of people and you saw that these people were just not gonna do anything and you lose your confidence and you say forget it?
It's like
y'all ain't with me.
He looked like that. He looked like that after the first drive. He looked like that after the first drive.
You mean after his number 1 wide receiver drops 2 passes?
Mark, he's in year 8. You're only down 7. You're only down 7.
His wide receiver drops 2 passes, and it looks like he's checked out of the game.
I'm going to trust what 3-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton says. You cannot be
the same
as a
guy
quarterback.
who ended
you
up
have to be as
getting
cold as
busted with
ice
a van
in the
with 200
playoffs.
pounds of weed in it.
I mean, in order to win the big game, you gotta have ice in your veins.
You gotta be as cold as ice. You gotta have ice in your veins, and that's what Nate was saying. Look, say what you want to about Troy.
I agree.
Numbers be damned. He was cold as ice in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl.
Walker, I'm glad you brought that up because when Cop Pizzle brought up Troy Aikman and his stats and all that, and I go back to this one story with Troy, and then we can go back to Bash and Dak, I guess. But Troy Aikman was in the locker room, and this was right before he went out and beat him and his team beat the Buffalo Bills 55-10, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
He was so nauseous. He was vomiting. He said, "Oh my God, I am so nervous." And yet, when he put his helmet on and ran out on the field, he was able to put that aside. And he was an unbelievable quarterback, throwing dimes all over the place. Got a lead, helped out the defense. Defense took over. So it's very impressive that a guy was that nervous. Mm-hmm. I've been there in certain situations where you're nauseous before something. I'm sure everybody has. Maybe something that you're not comfortable doing in front of a lot of people. My man went out on the biggest stage and got us a Super Bowl, my first Super Bowl since I was a little kid.
So let me ask you this then.
It was Super Bowl MVP.
I will never shit on Troy Aikman. Never.
Now let's hold on here
he
for a
held
second.
that team together after Jimmy left, too. He held that team together.
Yeah, remember the whole Barry Switzer, and he's yelling at the players on the sideline because they weren't doing shit in practice.
Okay.
And hold on, Mark. You're over here talking about, Dak. Hold on. Well, the one guy was saying, the team and everyone falling around, not making catches. Hold up. Troy held the team together when Jimmy left. The team was literally on depression mode. They were devastated.
Okay.
He held that team together.
Okay, wait. Now, let me ask you this. When I look at that team, the team that you had there with a Michael Irvin, would you take Michael Irvin or CeeDee Lamb in the playoffs? In the playoffs.
That's a tough one.
Michael Irvin.
Okay.
Michael Irvin in the playoffs, yes.
Would you take Tony Pollard or excuse me, Emmitt Smith?
Emmett.
Is that even a
Corey,
question?
yeah,
Okay.
that's a good question.
Would you take Jay Novacek or Dalton Schultz Jake Ferguson?
That's not a question.
Novacek.
Would you take our offensive line that we
I'd
have
take
now,
Moose
or
over
would
Hunter
you take
Long.
that offensive line that was right there? I don't know. Okay, yes, Troy Aikman came out there with ice in
The
his
team was
veins.
getting worse, though. Even they talked about that. Even Troy was
That-
like, we're getting worse. Year
that
after
team
year, they
had
got
no
worse. They
business
lost
winning.
players.
Yes,
That team had no business winning in '95
And
at the
still-
Steelers.
They
And
said they had no
still-
business winning that Super Bowl night.
Well, thank Neil,
That game-
Neil O'Donnell then for that one for throwing 2
Yeah,
picks
Larry
right
Brown
there,
won
okay?
MVP. Remember that one?
He threw it to the cornerback, the Steelers quarterback. Threw the ball to our cornerback twice. There was nobody
you know
else
why
around
they
him.
also won that Super Bowl? Because the 49ers lost in the playoffs to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay,
Yeah,
my point being is
the 49ers that year beat up on the Cowboys again.
my point being is he had a whole lot of the people to lean on that team, a whole lot. I'm not saying that Troy Aikman wasn't great because Troy Aikman was incredible. But when we sit here and look at a team that constantly says we're going to do more,
Michael
with
Irvin
less.
wasn't what he was though in '95. In '95, but in
Mark,
'92,
we've had solid
You know
teams.
what,
I'm not
but I
saying
tell you
Dak
what,
has
though.
had world beater
I will-
teams, but Mark, he's had the number one offense in the NFL.
But I'll tell you what the
past
difference
3-4
is.
years. I mean,
Listen, you got a guy who's
solid
experienced in
offensive line.
Michael Irvin, who is going to be out there in people's faces to motivate the hell out of them. CeeDee Lamb literally
doubt.
checked out of that game. Literally, the beginning of that game, he was missing in action. You would never see a Michael Irvin do that. Michael Irvin is over there firing people up. When have you seen anything like that out of CeeDee Lamb? And you had guys that were experienced and understand what winning is and digging deep. Right now, the mental fortitude with these guys, and Wade's right, that 49er game is going to be the psychological edge where we
that's
need
the
to
biggest
beat them.
game of the season. If we can't beat the 49ers this season, that's all she wrote, people.
George Dallas Cowboys
I'll
Life said,
zero.
"I'll trade these hater
which
fans for
week is
better
that?
fans."
I think it was like 8.
Oh man,
No,
these hater
we haven't
fans
been
are-
able to get over the 49ers. If we
Week
can't
8
get over the
after
49ers,
bye.
I'm telling you, we can't get over the 49ers, we're not going to do anything in the playoffs.
Derek, I think it's week 8 after the 7th week.
Psychologically,
Hold
that
it.
team needs that
Gina
victory.
Dallas Diva said, "None of you men, mother humpers, know shit." That Michael Irvin had 111 receptions in '95.
Well, here's the deal. You want to go back to
Get it,
'95?
man.
Okay, well, like if you want to go back to '95, in 1995, Dallas's offense ranked 20th in the NFL.
And what
2-0.
What was their defense?
2-0. That's a fact. Emmett, 1,773 yards rushing from Emmitt Smith and 1,600 yards receiving by Michael Irvin. But the total offense, that was it. There was no anybody else on that offense. Even the tight end wasn't good in that year. So
see, that's where-
95 we're talking.
Okay.
Defensive rating, you want the defensive rating? They ranked 16th in defense. So they had a 20th
Okay,
ranked
that's
offense and a 16th ranked defense
And won a Super Bowl.
and won a Super Bowl. So
But when you
again,
okay, but here's the thing.
Well,
Emmett rushed
we're bringing
for
up
more
stats.
yards.
I'm trying to-
I get it. I
And
get
the
it.
Packers and the 49ers were stacked that year in 95, too. So.
Okay, well, they were an experienced team that didn't have the mental issues that we have.
All right, Mark, what?
Yeah, I didn't
Brett
hear that either.
Favre won the MVP in 95. Troy Aikman beat him.
Well, Aaron Rodgers won, 2 MVPs there too, and didn't win. Jack, you've had Lamar Jackson.
Our quarterback
who's won
ain't been
MVP
able to get over Aaron
Well,
Rodgers.
You've had Lamar Jackson win 2 MVPs.
Steven,
and
yeah,
he's
we
2
had
and
no-
4 in
we
the
had-
playoffs.
we had Emmett, which is what I was trying to say. Emmett was Emmett and Michael. They bailed our ass out, and our offensive line our offensive line all year wasn't great in '95, but they put it together good enough.
Yeah, and you gotta understand, '95 they had years and years of working together as a
right.
team.
And learned how to win in the playoffs.
So I mean,
Learned
it's
how
a
to win.
different mindset than what the Cowboys have now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is they don't have when they get into the playoffs, they don't have that comfort as, hey, listen, we've been here multiple times.
Yeah.
We've come through this. No, every time they get into the playoffs with Dak and these guys, they're looking at each other like, holy shit, we didn't really get the job done. So there's more and more pressure mounting on these guys. That's the only thing that scares me. It's like, what happened? It's all about the playoffs, people. It's all
That's
about
why we got to beat the 49ers. Confidence booster. We got to beat them this regular season.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. We need to, I think we can, but I'm not going to pick them, man. I can't pick them until they do it, Mark. I ain't picking this team to beat the Niners, and you got to show me. These hot boys, whatever you gonna call them, they actually got to show me.
The hot boys need to be rest in peace. I don't want to ever hear.
I think the whole past needs to be put in the grave and start to forge our own legacy, because we're living off something that we didn't, that this team wasn't even a part of. Making CD Lamb number 88 as opposed to number 10 when he wanted to come.
Exactly.
Let them be
That's
them.
Ownership.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I can't go overtime because I've got a meeting at 6:30 here for our plans for tomorrow. But how about this? The Dallas Cowboys players didn't name us America's team. They didn't name us. They didn't name us, Captain America. They didn't name us Doomsday Defense. You do the work on the field. We'll come up with the names for you guys. Because until you do something, we the hot boy. No, screw you. Didn't know. No.
Y'all the not boys.
You got to do something to get named something, to be something. You're not iconic. Sorry. We the hot boys. Gold chains and stuff. See, y'all living in Hollywood. That's some bullshit. Sorry. I love my Cowboys. I want to see them win. Believe me, I want to see them win, because I want to be the one here that's going around with two middle fingers up saying, F all you, because we got the Super Bowl. But
nah, take that in humility, man.
No, bro. I have been killed for so many years. I have
I can
all
agree
of
with
this.
that.
Look, I'm gonna take your name. I'm gonna be the angry, revengeful cowboy. Okay, that's what I'm gonna be.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad to report that we made it through a show without Leo.
Oh, Leo.
Don't say Beetlejuice again. He'll show up.
Oh man,
Beetlejuice.
But I appreciate everybody being here. I apologize that I couldn't get the live streams. It won't. It's just the Wi-Fi in my room. I don't know if I'm just in a bad spot or not. It just does not get a signal out. And the only way to really do it is to come down here in the lobby and stuff. But we have been busting a hump on trying to get these things done. Yesterday was actually supposed to be a day off, but me, my wife, and one of the other people who are here, we decided to go over to get this woman's house finished so that way she can move in. And I've just been exhausted. And so we're starting out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and trying to get content out has not been easy, but hopefully I'll be able to get my stream up tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. And let me get the final words from everybody here. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm. At the end of the day, I'm a Cowboys fan. Do I agree with every choice the Cowboys make? Players, coaches, no. But when it comes time to root for my team, I'm rooting for everybody who has a star on their helmet, no matter how I feel about them. I didn't like T.O. coming to this team, but as soon as T.O. said, get your popcorn ready, I was go T.O. Like, whatever whoever puts on the star, I am rooting for them, no matter how I feel about them. They're a Cowboys player, and I'm a fan. Simple as that.
Amen.
Second that.
All righty. Anybody else? Well, definitely check out Derek J. Okay.
I have to agree with Derek J. It's either Cowboys or all this from the words of General George Patton, all this individuality junk is full of crap, man. That's for the birds, man. That's when you go to school tomorrow. That's hallway talk.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a legit fan, you're either down for that star, or you're not the shit. I'm sorry for all you fantasy football fans. I'm sorry, but hey, that's life. I'm sorry. And Mark, and by the way, I am going to the game when Dallas play Cleveland.
Play Cleveland?
I'm going to Cleveland.
Game time?
Yeah.
Game time? You want to make a road trip to? Is he still here or did he leave?
I don't see him.
Yeah, I think he left.
Cleveland's not that far away. Although that's probably going to be a very expensive ticket, though. And
I know.
I'll have to see how my money is.
Oh yeah, Zeke Elliott going back home too. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. All right. Well, let me get my final words here. My man, Angry Cowboy Fan. Make sure you check him out, and he's got the voice. And I've got to check and see the route that we come. I'm not from up here, so I don't even remember. It was just like a daze when I drove up here. But I'm going to be going to Harrisburg from here, and I don't know which way the road takes me and stuff. But
I think it's going to take you through Queensbury.
Okay, is that close to you?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
Okay. All right, so we'll hook up on that and find out. It'll be Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning going back. So we'll definitely check that out. So check out my man Derek J. Reactions is there. We got the Angry Cowboy Fan. And of course we got Game Time Brian, who's knocking on the door of 20,000 subscribers. Damn, son. And looking like he's now getting, of course, all the trolls like me. So yeah. And SLTV, do you have it? Are you doing videos, SLTV? Are you doing videos?
I do videos, yes, sir.
Well, definitely check. I got to check it out too, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me check all you guys out. All right, good people. I got to get this stuff packed up back upstairs and get back downstairs for a meeting. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and try not to let anybody shit on you.
Disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
Shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slide, they shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slide, they shit on you. Kill them.